Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Creative Hands by Shay. So in today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to make a crochet shirt. So this was a requested video. Someone sent me an ad with a lady wearing this shirt and wanted me to replica this shirt. So I will be showing you today step by step how to put this shirt together. So guys, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you will love this tutorial and you'll be able to make one of your own. To my regular viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for always being here. So guys, I will be listing in the description box more information about this shirt, so make sure you check that out to get all your materials ready to put your shirt together. So guys, let's jump in the video. So guys, to begin, we will start off with a 3.5mm crochet hook. Mine is just not so visible right now. So you're gonna make a magic ring. So you can make your magic ring however you feel comfortable, as this is just the way how I make mine. So you are going to go ahead, if you're making the size as I am making, you will go ahead and chain 132. But I will be doing like a swatch, so I won't be chaining all those chains. So I'm just going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to chain up 30. So I'm going to continue doing my chains and then I'll meet back with you. So guys, this shirt is made up into 3 panels for the body of the shirt, and then you have the 2 sleeves. So if you're making it bigger or smaller, what you can do if you're making it smaller, you can use a size 3 hook and it will bring the size down a little bit. Or if you want it to be bigger than what I am making, you can do more chains, but make sure that it is in multiples of 3 and it is an even number after you're done doing your chains. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna skip 1, 2, going to the 3rd stitch, and you're gonna yarn over and make a double crochet. You're gonna put 1 more double crochet there as we're doing the granny stitch. So that's 3 stitches per cluster. So that chain up to the chain 2 that we skipped is count as our first double crochet. You're going to yarn over, skip 2, going to the 3rd, and do another cluster. You're going to continue doing clusters of 3, skipping 2, and then doing 3 double crochets into that same stitch, just as I did here. Yarn over, skip 2 again, going to the 3rd, and repeat the same thing. Continue doing that all the way until you get to the end, and I'll meet you back there. So guys, now I have come to the end and I've finished making my last cluster. So this shirt is made lengthwise, so depending on how long you want your shirt to be, that's the amount of chain that you will work with. Just letting you know that this is just to my estimation with the measurement that I did. I actually measured it from one of my husband's shirt, so it's a large shirt that he has, and I did an estimated measurement from that, and I got 132 chains to work with. So you can do your own measurement, and I will put on the screen how to measure a shirt, or how to do your measurement to make your shirt. So I'll put it on the screen. So now you are going to chain up 3. You're going to turn your work and yarn over, going to the space, and make 3 double crochets. Into the next space here. You're going to repeat the same thing. And you're just basically going to continue. So with this shirt, it is 2 colors. So I will be changing to black after I'm done with this ivory or half white color. So I'll see you there at the end. So guys, now I have come to the end, and how you're going to finish it off, you're going to yarn over. And you can either go on top of this last stitch, or you can go in between, just like this, and pull through. But you're not going to finish that stitch because we're going to change our color. So this is how you're going to finish off each second row. So once you're going to change over your color, this is how you're going to finish off your row. So now you are going to get your next color, so whatever color you are using, so just pull that through. You can chain one and give it a tie. Okay, so now that I have done so, I am going to chain two more and then turn my work. You're going to yarn over, go into that space where you did that double crochet, and you're going to put two more double crochets there, and that completes our cluster. You're going to yarn over, go into the next space and make your next cluster. And it is very repetitive. You're just basically repeating this all over until you get to all three panels. There it is. So I'm going to continue doing this until I get back to this part, and I'll meet you there. So guys, now I have come to the end where I have my chain of 3 here, and we're going to put a cluster there of 3 double crochets. So this is how you're going to finish off every time when you have a chain of 3 there. You're going to chain 3 and turn your work and repeat the same step by making clusters of 3. Once you get to the end, you are going to finish off with 1 double crochet. So I'm going to continue doing this and I'll meet back with you. So guys, now I have come to the end, and just as I stated before, we're just going to finish off with 1 double crochet, and we're not going to finish. And if you notice, I did not cut my yarn off. I realized doing this when I was making the panels, it's best to not cut it off because it's quite easier to work with after you're done making your panels, and your work will look so much tidier, and you won't have all that hustle and dazzle to work to weave in your tail ends and all of that. So don't cut your yarn off, just leave it there. Now you're going to chain up 3, and you're just basically going to turn your work and repeat the same steps by putting 2 more double crochets here to finish off this cluster. So you're always just going to carry your yarn each time you're done making your sets of 2 of the same color. So you're just repeating this over and over until you get to your desired width. So I am just going to show you what one of my panel looks like. And this is what I was saying, I had to cut and tie them, but I will be working over them so it won't show. So this is one of my front panels. So for the front panel, you will split that in 2. For the back panel, it's just going to be 1 solid panel. And again, depending on how much rows that you are making, how wide you want your shirt to be. So I did a total of 62 rows for the back. And for the front, you will do 31 row each. So I started off just with the same color as I did for the back. I started off with the ivory, then with the black, ivory, then black. And once I get to my last row, I finish off with 1 row of black here. So whatever color that you're using, you are always going to finish off with only 1 row if you're making the same size that I am making. So I am just gonna put my panels together and I'll meet back with you because I have already done them. So I'll show you how to put them together. So guys, now I have pinned all my panels together and this is what it looks like so far. So there's an opening. So what I did was to just count from this first row here back to here, and I got 11 rows. So that's where I put my pin, and I did the same thing for this side. So this measured just a touch over 7 inches, so I can show you. So it's just a touch over, but that's where I am going to leave it. And what you're going to do is you're going to sew from this end to here, and you're going to repeat the same thing from this side to this side. And you're going to make sure when you're sewing the rows are matching up to the ones in the back. So black to black, ivory to ivory, just like that. So I am just gonna join my yarn, and because this starts with the ivory color, I am just gonna use the ivory color to start here. You can either, well, depending on what color you're using. Let me just attach both together, and you're basically going into the edge, close to the edge there, attaching your yarn, chain 1 and give it a tie. Once you have done so, then you're just going to go ahead, chain up 1, and you're going to do some single crochet. You can either do single crochet or slip stitches, but I do recommend doing single crochet to do this. So you're just basically going into the double crochets twice to do your sewing. If you are having difficulty in using the hook to do so, you can always use your darning needle to do your sewing. So just continue doing 2 single crochets into each double crochet until you get to the end here, and then once you have done so, fasten off and repeat the same step on this side here, come in here. So I'm just gonna do that and I'll meet back with you. So guys, now I have come to the end, and I am just gonna go ahead, chain 1 and fasten off, and I'm gonna weave my tail end in. I just want to do this because I don't want to have all these tail ends to weave in afterwards. I have 3 tail ends here. Let me just fasten off some of this. So just basically going underneath the stitches so that it won't show on the right side. But this is what it looks like though. So I'm going to do that and I'll be back with you. So moving forward for the sleeve, I already went ahead and made one of the sleeve, and this is what it looks like. So for the sleeve, I went ahead and I measured 16 inches wide, and the length is showing me almost 7.5 inches in length. So that's where I want my sleeve to be. So to make your sleeve, you have to do your own measurement, or if you want to go with the one that I am doing here, you can see how wide that is. You can go ahead and do so, follow the same one, or you can go ahead and do your own measurement. So I went ahead and I chained 39, so that is going to be the length of what the sleeve is, and then we are going to work up our rows just as we did when we were doing the front and back panel. So you're going to skip 2, so chain 39. Once you get to your 39, you're going to start by skipping 2, going to the 3rd stitch, and you're going to make 1 double crochet, go back into that same stitch and make another double crochet. Remember, chain 2 counts as your first double crochet. You're going to skip 2 stitches, going to the next, and make a double crochet. Continue doing that all the way to the end, and I'll meet you there. So guys, now I have come to the end, and I have my last 3 stitches here remaining, and I am just going to go ahead and work my 3 double crochets there. That's into the last stitch. Okay, so now I have completed row 1. You're gonna chain up 3 just as before, turn your work, go into the space there, and do the cluster of 3 double crochet. You're gonna continue doing that all the way until you get to the end. Remember, you're replicating the same thing as we did when we were making the panels, just repeating the same step. So I am just going to continue working up my rows. Once you finish off 2 rows of black, then you will change to your next color. And I actually found out a way what to do. I'm going to show you when I am at the end of this row, so I'll see you there. So guys, now I've come to the end and I'm just making my last double crochet into that last cluster. So before you finish that stitch, you are going to join your next color, and this is what I am doing now. If I'd actually think about doing this before, I would not have been cutting my yarn each time, which would have saved me time and effort, and I would not have so much tail ends to weave in or to fix at the end. So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna leave your black thread or yarn on. You're not gonna fasten off. You are going to, whenever you're finishing the second row of the other color, you're just gonna carry that yarn like that. So I'm gonna show you once I am done with my 2 rows of white or half white. I'm gonna show you how to carry the yarn, so we're not gonna fasten off. It saves a lot of time when you do that, and it makes your work looks a lot tidier. So I'll see you there. So guys, now I have come to the end. I'm just making my last double crochet, and before we finish that stitch, we're just going to pick up on the black and just carry that yarn, and that is how you're going to do it, so that you don't have so much tail end to weave in at the end. And again, as I stated, it makes your work looks a lot neater and easy to work over once you're gonna work on the end part of your sleeve. Just tidy that part up, it makes the job way easier. So you're just gonna basically continue doing that, carrying your yarn each time you're finishing the double rows of the same color. And once you get to your desired width, remember I am doing I did a total of 46 rows, so that equals 16 inches for me. So if that's the same thing that you're doing, you can go ahead and do so. So I will see you at the end, and I'll show you how to start putting the shirt together. So guys, now I've come to the end, and I'm just gonna make my last double crochet here. And this is what my next sleeve looks like. So it's the same as the one that I did before. So now we are going to work on the edge part of the sleeve, which is down here where we have all these little ends that you're seeing. So we're going to work over them. So now you're going to chain 1, and into where you have this double crochet, you're going to put 2 single crochets. Go into the next and put 2 single crochet. And you're going to basically do that all the way until you get to the end, and I will meet you back there. Just making 2 single crochets into where you have the double crochets. So continue doing that, and I'll see you there at the end. So guys, now I've come back to the end, and I am going to put my last stitch into where we did our cluster here. So that is at the beginning. So I'm just going to go into that cluster and make our last single crochet, and it kind of give the stitch like lining up with this part here. Now you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and repeat the same step. So I'm just going to do 1 more row because I only did 2 rows for the bottom part here of the sleeve. So I'm going to continue doing that until I get to the end, and then I will meet back with you. So guys, now I've come to the end of my sleeve, and I'm just making my last single crochet, and I am just going to go ahead and fasten off. So there it is. So now I am gonna get my shirt and I'm gonna place that sleeve onto my shirt here, and I'm just gonna show you how to do that. So you're basically just gonna go ahead and place your shirt down like this. And you are going to put your sleeve on the wrong side facing upward. And my sleeve, I'm just gonna do the measurement so you can see. So my sleeve is technically 16, just yeah, about 16 inches. So I would need 8 on each side. So I think my sleeve is matching. Just need to get the same amount on this side over here, but it does seem like what I have placed here have matched to the correct amount. So this is in the center, so I am just going to go ahead and use my stitch marker and pin here. Pin the center, and I'm going to use my stitch marker and I am going to pin here as well. And I can see here that I can start my sewing in this cluster here. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna pinch and then attach your yarn and sew all the way down. So let me just do that. I am gonna use, again, you can always use your hook or you can use a darning needle. The hook goes faster for me, so I am using the hook. And just as we did when we were sewing the neckline in, or the shoulder part up, you will repeat the same thing. Just chain 1 and do some single crochets into the space, and where you have this cluster, you'll just go in and sew. Just continue doing that all the way until you get to the end, and I'll meet you there. So guys, now I have come to the end and I'm just going to do my last stitch here. Chain 1 and fasten off. So now our shirt is now sewed nicely. So you can see one sleeve here. And the other sleeve on this side. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to sew down our shirt. So let me just do that on the wrong side. Let me just turn it over. So we're gonna sew from this end all the way down to the end of the shirt here. So attach your yarn, and because this part is black, I'm just going to use black thread here and then use the half white down here. Give it a tie and weave the tail end in as you go along. So once you reach to this part here, you can just change to this color and continue doing your sewing all the way down and repeat the same step on the other side as well. So I'll see you at the end. So guys, now I have come to the end and I am just gonna go ahead, chain one and fasten off here. So I have completed sewing both sides from sleeve downward, and this is what it looks like, as you can see. So I am just going to turn this over to the right side because now we are going to work on the inner part of the shirt. There it is. So we are going to work on this side, and I am going to put the buttons on this side here. So we're going to work 4 rows on this side. So once you get down to here, you will just chain one, come back up, and just repeat the same steps. So I'm just going to attach my yarn. Into that first stitch, and we're going to do 4 rows of single crochets. So chain one, give it a tie just to make sure that it is secured. Okay, and you are going to go back into that same stitch and make a single crochet. Continue making single crochet all the way down, working into each stitches until you get to the end. Once you are at the end, you chain one, come back up. You're going to do a total of 4 rows. So I'll see you there at the end. So guys, now I am back to the top part, and this is what that part looks like. So now you're gonna chain one and turn, and you're gonna work 4 inches down. And once you're at your 4 inches down, or once I am at my 4 inches down, I'll meet back with you because we will be making the buttonhole. And this is the left side of the shirt, guys, that we'll be putting the buttonholes. So I'm going to continue doing this and I'll meet with you guys. And now I am at 4 inches down, and I'm just going to do the measurement so you can see. So right there. So now we're going to work on the buttonhole area. So this is the size button that I am using. I don't know what size this is. I think it's on the paper here. It says 12 mm, ½ inch. So this is the buttons. These are the buttons that I will be using. So I will be chaining one, skip one, and go into the next, and then make a single crochet. And we're gonna continue doing single crochet, and we're gonna do it about 3.5 inches down. Once you get to 3.5 inches, then I will stop there, and then I'll make another buttonhole. So I'm going to continue doing that, and then I'll meet with you. So guys, now I have reached to my 3.5 inches, and I have 18 stitches in between here. So counting from this first one here down to the last one, I have 18. Now I'm going to chain one, skip one, go into the next, and make my single crochet. And this is how I'm going to continue doing this until I get to the end. Once I'm there, I'll meet back with you. So guys, now I'm back to the end. I'm just going to chain my one, turn my work, and we are going to work all the way back up. Where we have that chain one space, you're just going to work into that stitch. So I am just going to go ahead, make my single crochet. Once I'm at that buttonhole, the first buttonhole, I will meet back with you. So now I reached to where I did that buttonhole, and I am just going to go into that stitch. You can either go into the stitch or under. I'm just going to go under and then go to my next stitch and continue doing my single crochet. So the reason why I didn't make my buttonhole too wide, because I don't want my button, I want my button to be able to go in nicely and don't have that big gap in there. So you can see it's going in nicely. So that is good enough for that size button. And you're basically gonna just continue doing that all the way until you get to the top, and I'll meet you back there. So guys, now I have come to the end here, and I'm just gonna fasten off. So chain one and fasten off. So I just leave my stitch markers because it's black. It's kind of a little bit hard to see, but that is where my buttonhole is. So we finish off there. And basically what we did on this side, we're gonna do on the other side as well, for the where you're gonna put your buttons. So I am gonna start on the bottom and then make my way all the way up to the top, come back down. Once I am at the end of my 6 rows, then I will meet back with you. So you're just basically going to do the same thing as you did before. Just attach your yarn and continue doing single crochets until you get to the end of your 6 rows. So where you just add your or join your yarn, you will go back into that stitch and you will put your first single crochet there. So go there, and you can weave the tail end in as you go along. Make your single crochet. Continue doing that all the way until you get to the end of 6 rows. So guys, now I have come to the end of making my 6 rows on the other side, and I also went ahead and attached my buttons. So you're basically gonna just align the left part onto the right, or I should say, yeah, align the left to the right, and then where your buttonhole is, which is right here for this one, you're just gonna put your button there and attach it just like this. So but what you will do is just use your needle to put it into place just like this, and you can see that that is on top of that button. So that's how you will just line up and attach your buttons onto your shirt. So after I'm done attaching this button, what I'm going to do is I am going to work on the tail end, and then I will work on to the color of the shirt. Just giving it one more. Give it a knot and fasten off. So that's the top button for the top of the shirt here, like that. So because I finished off down the bottom, I am going to just go ahead and make some rows onto the bottom. So just chain one and then start making your single crochet. So I'm going into, I hope you can see this well. So these little spacing that you're seeing here, I am just going to go into those and work one single crochet. And just as we did when we were doing the sides and the top, sewing them together, once you get to the double crochet, you will just put 2 single crochet there. So just continue doing that all the way around, and I will see you at the end. So guys, and now I have come to the end of the other side, and I'm just gonna chain one and turn my work, and I'm gonna do about 3 more rows. And once I am done doing that, my rows here on the edge of the shirt or the bottom part of the shirt, then I will start making the collar. So I'll see you at the end. So guys, and now I have come to the end. I'm just making my last stitch here, and I'm going to fasten off. So I'm going to chain one, and we can weave that in later on. So this is what the bottom part looks like. So now we are going to work on the collar here. Let me just remove this. So we're going to work on this part. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip here, and we're going to start into that first stitch where we did our first single crochet, so that first row. So that's on top of the double crochets clusters here. So you can see, let me just go closer. So I'm going to go into this one here, and we are going to attach our yarn let me just kind of, okay. So I'm going to chain one, and into that same stitch we are going to put you know what, I'm going to go into this part here, so into here, so not where I attach the yarn, but into the second little open area there, and then into that double crochet I'm going to put 1 double crochet there in the starting, and into the next I'm just going to put 2 double crochet, and into each and every double crochets going around you are going to put 2 double crochets, because we're just making the base of the neckline. And once you get to this one, you'll put 2, go over into this part here, into this space, and you're going to make 1, then go back into the double crochet and continue doing the 2. So I'm going to continue doing that all the way around until I get back to the end, and I'll see you there. So guys, now I've come to my last stitch, and I'm just going to place that, and I did a total of 88 stitches right around. So I'm just going to chain 1 and fasten off. So now we are going to work on the color, and we're going to make the color and then attach it on. So we are going to start doing so by chaining 24. So we're starting off with the black. So 1, 2, I'm going to continue doing that until I get to 24. So now I have come to the end of chaining 24. Now I'm going to yarn over, skip 2, go into the 3rd, and make 2 double crochet. Or chain 2 counts as our first double crochet, or the 2 that we skipped count as our first double crochet. Now that you have finished that cluster, you're going to skip 2 again, and you are going to put 3 double crochet. So we're just basically doing it the same exact way as when we were making the panel. And we are going to do only 1 row of the black. Since we finish off the front panels with only 1 row, we are going to do the same thing for the color as well. So we're starting off with only 1 row of black, and we're going to finish off with 1 row of black. So it's going to be 1 row of black, then 2 rows of white, then 2 rows of black, just as we were doing before. So the only time that you'll be doing 1 row of a color is at the beginning and the end. So I'm going to continue doing that, and I'll see you at the end. So guys, now I've come to the end. I'm just gonna make my last double crochet. We're not going to finish. We are going to join our next color, and remember, we're not going to cut our yarn off when we're changing color. We're just going to carry the yarn just as I showed you before when we were making the panels. Okay, so now that I have attached, I'm just going to go ahead and chain up 2 more. Yarn over, go into that first space, and you're going to put 2 more double crochet. So we're just repeating what we did before. Go into the next space and put 3 clusters of double crochet. You're going to continue doing that until I am at my desired amount. I'll actually tell you, I'll put it on the screen so you will know how many rows that I did, and you can follow along. So just repeat the same steps, and I'll meet back with you at the end of my rows. So guys, now I have come to the end, and I'm just going to make my last double crochet. And I did a total of 48 rows for the color. So now I am going to attach it on. So let me just fasten off here. So I am going to go ahead and pin my color on. And you are going to do that on the right side. So in the back here you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. So you are just going to go ahead and line up. Let me just see. I'm going to line from this side here. Let me just see. Probably gonna do it in the outer. Let me see. Yes, I'm gonna sew it like this. So we're row starts from here. You can see that it is lining up. This one here, I'm gonna put another pin here. And this goes all the way around to my last row here. So you're basically gonna just do some single crochet to attach, or you can use your hook to attach it on. So I am gonna go ahead, attach my yarn, and I'll be back with you. So guys, now I have attached my yarn, and I'm just gonna go into the single crochets and do some single crochets. You're just basically going into the edge of the collar of the double crochets and going into the single crochets that we did in the inner part here. And whatever tail end that you have, you can weave in as you go along, or you can weave it in afterwards. So I'm just going to continue doing that all the way around, doing single crochets. You can see it there. That's what it's going to look like when it's all flattened down. Continue doing that all the way around until you get back to this part here, and I'll meet back with you. So guys, now I have come to the end, and I'm just making my last single crochet here. So this is how it looks with the sewing in the inner part here and the collar. You can see how nicely dropped that is. But we're going to work on the edges around, so I am just going to continue going around, and I am going to make I'm going to do single crochets into each stitches. So I'm going to continue doing single crochet until I get to the peak here, and I'll meet back with you. So now that I reached the tip here, I am just going to put 3 single crochet into that stitch. So that's 1, 2, and 3, and that will give it a little curve on the edge. Then you're going to go into the double crochet, and you're going to put 1 double crochet there, and then into the next one you're going to put 2, and you're going to basically continue doing that all the way until you get back to this side. Once you reach to this peak, you will do the same thing. You will put 3 into the edge here of this double crochet. You will put 3 single crochet there, and then continue doing single crochet all the way down to this part. So I'll meet you back there. So guys, now I have reached back to the end here, and into this last cluster we're just going to put 1 single crochet there. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and this is going to be our final row, where we're going to just do 1 more row of single crochets all the way around until you get to the end. So continue doing that. Let me just see, let me just redo this part here, because I need it to lock onto this part properly. So we're going to put 1 single crochet in that last cluster, and then into the joining we're going to go into that part and put another 1, and then chain 1 and turn. Go back in, do your first single crochet. I hope you can see that well. and continue doing single crochet all the way around, and until you reach to the end, and then I'll see you there. So guys, I've come to my last single crochet, and I am just gonna fasten off now because I'm done. And I'm not gonna chain one, I'm just gonna, yeah, I can chain one, and then I'm gonna weave this tail end in. So our shirt is basically completed now. I am so happy of the way how this shirt turned out, and I hope that it looked exactly like the replica that was sent to me. And I hope that you guys will be able to make this shirt, and it will turn out pretty nice as this one. So I'm just weaving in this tail end a little bit. So I'm going to fasten off now. So this is the end look of the shirt. It is looking super cute. I love the way how the color falls, and the button area here. So this is what the shirt looks like, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you will be able to do your own replica of this shirt. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, bye.